Hey everyone, welcome to Booga Booga Ancient Times. These goobers are setting off fireworks. Yeah, welcome to Booga Booga Ancient Times. Live event is about to happen, so I'm gonna shut up and then I'll give you some commentary about the development of it and stuff afterwards. And would you look at that? Would you look at that? I moved an island live. That took so many hours. I was up till 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. a couple nights in a row trying to do this. But it worked, and it's cool. So I'm going to talk about the process in a second. We're just going to kind of look around the island with the event crowd first. People are looking around. People are looking around. Yeah, so with this also came with some new hats. We've got Am Queen Flipper, which I actually don't own. It's a Queen Penguin hat, you know. Got the flippers, the penguins. And then we got... And it starts raining. That's funny. We got the Frost Guardian hat, which I added because a specific person was really asking for a hat like this, which is kind of funny. But we got this new island. There's some caves. We got penguins on it. They're called flippers. You can probably tell by the hat name. They're kind of adorable. They don't have a noise yet because I actually can't find a good penguin noise to use. And this is what happened. So now the ice island has been connected through the center with this giant land mass. And so now the ice island is just one big land mass. And don't worry, I'm not losing out on the islandy feel of the game. There will be new actual islands. Originally, you know, I'm gonna start talking about actual like event development now. So I'm probably gonna head to a private server. I don't know yet. But yeah, that's the event. You can see this new island. I'll do a tour of it while I talk about how painful this was to make. Seriously, this was a process. But I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, let's just head on over to a private server, and I'll explain how I did this, because I'm sure a lot of people that do studio are very confused. Okay, we're here in a private server. I updated the patch notes and stuff. So I'm going to talk about this event a little. I left studio open for a good reason, because this event was a total nightmare to make, and anyone who does studio development can probably guess why, just seeing that. Because that was terrain, and it moved. And I think most people who've done any studio know that you can't just do that. It's really hard. And so you see my problem here is that I did that. And I don't think any other game has done it before. I could be wrong. Maybe they have. And if they have, and someone's going to be like, I know how you did this, I mean, that's fine. You can know how I did this. It's not like it's a competition. But, yeah. So, honestly, the easiest things about the update were that entire cinematic sequence and, like, the penguins and stuff. Those were all really easy for me to add. The hard part was making this iceberg move. And the reason the hard part was making this iceberg move is because, you know, you can't move terrain. So, if you're wondering how I did that, and I'm sure anyone who does studio is, I can open studio real quick. I've got it open here. And let me just get this Berg model. And so you'll probably see it's going to be a little scuffed. You could probably guess how I did it if you've tried to do something like this before after seeing this model. Yeah, it's not exactly the greatest. You can clearly tell it's not real terrain if I go up really close. But it's pretty dang accurate. And especially in some of the parts that I showed off, especially, like up here, it's really hard to tell that it's not real terrain. Now, the way this is made is it is in Blender. I exported the terrain of the iceberg, which on its own, I had to download. So the first step, I had to download this map, the version with this iceberg, and I had to cut out all of the rest of the terrain, which was a lot easier than it sounds. It just took a couple hours, or I don't know if it was a couple hours. It's probably longer than that, but it didn't take that long. It wasn't that hard. It was just some busy work. Because I just downloaded a copy of the map, removed most of the materials like water, rock, because only ice, snow, and glacier are used as part of this iceberg. I just removed all of the materials that were not those, and then I cut out the ice island around this glacier. And that was pretty easy. That was one of the easiest parts. And then I exported it to Blender, and I did a little bit of, cleaning up and stuff. But that wasn't that hard. The hard part then is, of course, I then merged some of the voxels because the terrain is really scuffed. Like if you export it, Roblox terrain has like thousands of vertices, not thousands of vertices, like tens of thousands of vertices. I think it was 60,000 for this iceberg. So I reduced that by just using merge in Blender. So that was really easy. Then the hard part was selecting and separating all of the different material areas. Because you might just think, oh, it's just ice, glacier, and snow. No, it's not. Because glacier and ice have different textures for the sides of them and for the tops of them, as you can see here. So I had to separate the sides from the top of glacier, and I had to do that manually for this entire thing. That took so many hours. And then I also had to manually remove, there's a cave inside here, which I can actually show in studio. There is this cave here, inside this, this berg. I had to remove that completely manually in Blender, because otherwise it would have been, too many vertices. And so, this whole thing is, it's made in Blender. And then, not only that, but you might notice that there are some, like, dark spots, right? I manually removed, or like seams in the ground. I manually fixed, or like this. What is this? There's like just a plane here. It's really weird looking. I manually removed, I think, probably 100 of those. I don't know, it was quite a lot. I manually removed a whole lot. I don't know what this is. I manually removed a whole lot of weird looking terrain. Thankfully, up here actually seems to have rendered pretty well, and this is the only area that gets, like, shown directly to the player during that event. But I still had to do some, this whole down area, this whole area was covered in really bad-looking seams, and even if you were looking at this from far away, you could tell there were seams. So I had to manually go over all of them and correct the terrain, which was really a process. But yeah, so that's how I did this, and then if you're wondering how it actually moves, like what I did for it, it is literally just animated. I animated it, it moves in, the smoke effects, they're just based on animation events. Hello, Snickers, my cat is here. Hi. One moment, I'm gonna pause the recording. Okay, the cat's gone. And then I just added, I had to change the scale so it would roughly match the size of this, didn't have to be perfect, and it definitely wasn't, but it was pretty close. And then, I added all of the trees and stuff, and here we are. This was a total process. And then, of course, I did all the cinematic stuff. There were a whole myriad of problems with making it so that the trees on the island could actually be spawned in. I had to actually load the real terrain, because if you can't tell, this is real terrain. Only when the iceberg was moving was it fake terrain, because we wouldn't be able to build on the real terrain without doing a lot of extra work, and it was just easier to load the real terrain. So that's why there's that, like, fade to blue at the end of the event. But, yeah, that's pretty much how I did it. It was a total pain. I think I spent at least 20 hours on this. It was probably more, but I think it was worth it. It was a really cool event. People seem to like it. And now this is going to be here on the map. I do intend to add more ice islands, because right now, there's not really ice islands. It's just one big land mass, because you don't have, yeah, because the other islands got combined into this one. So I do intend to change that up a bit. But yeah, that's the live event. I think it was pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble. But yeah, that's how I moved terrain, for anyone that was curious. Highly recommend not trying this. I don't think it was worth it, not gonna lie. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one.